Welcome back, trainers. So we're going to be covering Pokemon that are a little bit more tanky that you may want to consider using for PvP in the future. I'm going to be having some gym battles play out here. I'm not going to be using all of the Pokemon that I'm going to be covering in the video in the gym battles as well. We're just going to kind of go over the ones that I think you may want to consider, hold on to, possibly power up, test out, whatever you have to do. So let's start off right now with Steelix, one of the best options in my personal opinion, and it's going to help you counter the specific types that you have weaknesses to. So we'll go over that because it's going to have a 4x resistance. It is going to be a steel and ground type. Max CP 2,439, attack 148, and defense 333, stamina 150. So as you can see, it has high defense, can take quite a few hits. Steel type, so it's going to have a lot of resistances, as we will go over right now. Week 2, fighting, fire, ground, and water. Yes, it is going to be week 2, the fighting available type to quite a few trainers, and also the water types. Now, if you're using a Gardevoir on your team, you're going to be week 2 poison type. And, well, if you're using Steelix, you're going to be able to switch into that battle and have a 4x resistance, considering you're going to be steel and ground type. That's going to be quite nice to counter whatever, you're weak against there. And say they have a poison type, and maybe you want to have Earthquake on your Steelix. We'll go over that. It is going to be resisting poison ×4, then electric, rock, bug, dragon, fairy, flying, normal, psychic, and steel type. So every time you see a steel Pokemon, more than likely it's going to have a ton of resistances because it is very good. Now, what you're going to want to have as a move, let's talk about that. Now, to counter the Pokemon, so if you have a fairy type, say Gardevoir, and then they switch into a poison type, well, switch into that Steelix with Earthquake, you're going to be able to possibly counter and have super effective damage. Other than that, Heavy Slam is a good option because it is a 2 charge bar move, and I know I said you don't want necessarily 1 charge bar move going into these PvP matches. There's an exception, and this is that, because Steelix is going to be that kind of tankier Pokemon. That's what you're using it for. You can substitute a 2 charge bar move to be super effective to your weaknesses. In this case, it's going to be the fairy to poison. Crunch is also a decent move depending on what your team is. If you have things that are weak to, say, ghost types or psychic types, then a crunch Steelix might help you out there in that situation. Next one, and that is going to be Snorlax. And if you're wondering from the beginning, why did I put in that Reggie Steel, that was to prove the example. And I know it's not powered up like the Steelix is, but it's still not going to be that great of a Pokemon. We're going to cover its stats and see how good its defense is and everything, and then Steelix is going to go in right after it and just take hits like it's nothing compared to the Reggie Steel. But once again, like I said, the Reggie Steel is not powered up, the Steelix is. So let's go ahead and cover Snorlax here. This is going to be an obvious choice because its stamina is so high. So max CP at 100% IV, 3,355, attack 190, defense 190, and stamina 320. So there you go, Snorlax. Haha, always the OG gym defender. Week 2, fighting, resisting ghost. Very simple. Now let's go over its moves, the more complicated thing that you might want. All right, so it's going to all depend once again on what your team is, but if I had to give you an option, Heavy Slam is what you're going to want for sure. 2 charge bar move. It's going to be super effective to those rock types and a fairy as well. So, I mean, Zen Headbutt is the nice option to have when you're dropping it in a gym. Lick is going to charge that Heavy Slam up quite quickly. If you're going up against another normal dark type, it's not going to be very effective. But at the same time, you'll be able to get that Heavy Slam off fairly quick. So Snorlax is always going to be a good option. Personally, I'm definitely not going to be using this in a PvP match in the future. Hey, so let's talk about Lugia. Oh yeah, the ultimate PvP block right here. And we're going to be covering a lot more legendaries and PvP discussion in the future. But for now, we're just going to kind of dabble into this one, Latias and Ho-Oh, and how good they're actually going to possibly be in PvP. Now, I'm covering this because, well, it is just a complete monster. You can usually always pull it out and just go right through the gym without even dodging for the most part, unless you run into a Tyranitar. So it is going to be a psychic and flying type. Max CP 3,595, attack 193, defense 323, and stamina 212. So it is looking pretty cheap right there. massive stats. Week 2, Dark, Electric, Ghost, Ice, and Rock. Pretty available types there, considering Tyranitar. And Lugia does have something to counter those, which we will go over here shortly. And let's go over what it's resisting: Fighting, Ground, Grass, and Psychic types. Okay, so it's going to be pretty good, you know, if you pull out your Raikou to go up against it, or anything that has Rock, Golem, Tyranitar should be pretty good. Unless it has Hydro Pump, then that's going to take out those Tyranitars and Golems fairly good, or mostly any Rock types, unless you're using Omnistar, Legacy, Rock Throw, and if you have that, lucky you. So let's go over the moves. Quick move, Extra Sensory, Dragon Tail. Charge moves, Future Sight, Sky Attack, and Hydro Pump. Personally, Sky Attack all the way. It's going to get stabbed. 2 Charge Bar move, and it's, you know, fairly strong. Future Sight is good. Obviously, it's going to get stabbed there. Massive damage, but 1 Charge Bar move in a PvP match, not so great unless you have a specific kind of strategy you're trying to use for it. But once again, Hydro Pump is going to be one of the best things you're going to want to have on your Lugia for PvP to counter the things that you're going to be weak against, because when people see you pull out that Lugia, if their counters have not fainted yet, then you're going to see more than likely a Tyranitar or a Golem. You're possibly even going to see a Raikou as well, and in that case, Hydro Pump is not going to save you. So there you have Lugia. It's just going to be briefly covering these, the ones that I think are going to be the top tier. So let's continue on to Ho-Oh. Now this thing is massive strong. The only downfall for it is it doesn't have a fire quick move, and that's kind of bad. Other than that, it's going to have a 4 times weakness to Rock, which is also not so great. Fire and Flying type, max CP 3,889, attack 239, defense 274, and stamina 193. So it's a massively strong Pokemon, right? Week 2, Rock, Electric, and Water. It's going to be 4 times weak to Rock, so look out. We'll cover those moves here. Resisting Bug, Grass, Fairy, Fighting, Fire, Ground, and Steel type. So let's see. It's week 2, Rock, and Water, Electric. Now we know it can't learn a ground move, and that's the only thing Electric is weak to, but it does have something to protect it, and that is going to be Solar Beam. So yeah, that's probably going to be your best bet in a PvP match on Ho-Oh for sure. Okay, so I'm personally going to rock Solar Beam, or will I? Or am I even going to use it in a PvP match? Probably not. Quick moves, Extra Sensory, Steel Wing. Charge moves, Brave Bird, Solar Beam, Fire Blast. So yeah, like I said, you're probably going to want to go with Solar Beam, considering it's going to be countering its weaknesses like Rock types, Golems, Tyranitars, even maybe Rapiers at this point, because that's going to be a Rock and Ground type. 4 times weak to Solar Beam, as well as Golem. Tyranitar is only going to be 2 times weak to that because it is just Rock. So on to Latias. Now I know there's going to be others that are better than these, and we're also going to be covering other non-legendaries here in just a moment. I just want to go over briefly as to what you might consider. So we have Latias, Dragon and Psychic type. Max CP 3,373, attack 228, defense 268, and stamina 160. So it's not a horrible Pokemon. Okay, let's look at that attack again. 228. I mean, that's okay, right? That's okay. If you're going up against a gym, you're using one of these, you have it, you know, powered up. Maybe you have a weather boosted one. It's not performing as well as you thought it would. You have to always consider this. When you're fighting a gym, everything in there has 2 times more defense, HP, attack. So it's going to make your Pokemon seem weak and frail if you are going in with high expectations. As far as PvP goes, there should be a mode where everything's going to be leveled out. Like, say, every Pokemon's going to become level 35, level 30, something like that. Kind of like in the main series games where every Pokemon just becomes 50. If it's lower than 50, then it stays at that. I think there's a setting where you can just make them all that way. But nonetheless, it should even out. So don't put this Pokemon aside too much. It's going to be weak to Bug, Dark, Dragon, Fairy, Ghost, and Ice. Resisting Electric, Fighting, Fire, Grass, Psychic, and Water. Wow, that's a colorful resistance list right there, and it is a highly used list as well. So Latias is a good option possibly for PvP in the future. And if you're thinking, well, why not Latios? Well, let's go ahead and look at him. We have a max CP at 3,344, attack 268, defense 228 and stamina 160. So, you know, Latios has, or should I say Latias, and these things always get me confused, has a bit more defense. This isn't going to be horrible either, and you might want to consider these for the future of PvP as well. Next up, Chuckle. And this is pretty much basically to cover the comments where people are going to say, well, what about Chuckle? Well, here you go. Here we go. And if you're thinking, are you actually serious? Is this going to be something you're really going to want to use against PvP? No, not really. But I'm throwing it in because it has massive defense, and I know the comments are going to flow in. What about Chuckle? So let's talk about it. It's going to be a bug and rock type, max CP. Oh my gosh, it's funny looking at max CP 300, attack 17, defense 396, stamina 40. So yeah, Chuckle, there you go. Is it going to perform well? Absolutely not. But depending on what you're doing, you could trick your opponent into something. It's going to be weak to rock, steel, and water, resisting normal and poison type. Wow, that's quite a resistant list there. And now let's go ahead and cover the moves. We have for its quick moves, Struggle Bug. Wow, that's a killer. Then Rock Throw. Actually, that's pretty good. Then you have for its charge moves, Stone Edge, Gyro Ball, and Rock Blast. Personally, you're probably going to want to go with Rock Blast because you're going to want to get off as many moves as you can. Sitting there rock throwing and then waiting for your Stone Edge would work. Gyro Ball is an absolute no. I personally wouldn't go with that. Just Rock Blast. You're getting stabbed, right? So there's Chuckle. Yes, it has massive defense, but no attack and no stamina. So it's going to take a few hits and do something. So if you have one of these, a 100, hey, go for it. Be my guest. Next up is Miltank, and I will be covering Blissey here in just a moment. That is going to be an obvious choice and a little food for thought when you're going up against a Blissey in a gym with, say, Zen Headbutt and Dazzling Gleam and almost max CP. They're quite annoying, right? Takes some time to get them out of that gym, but let's think about it. That has 2 times the stats that it should have. When you're going in PvP, it should just be normal and a lot easier to take out. So let's think about that. They're not going to probably be as difficult as we think they are. So Miltank is a normal type here with a max CP of 2,312, attack 157, defense 211, and stamina 190. And why did I pick this Pokemon? Because it is somewhat tanky and it can take hits. It's normal type, so it has one weakness, fighting, and it is resisting one thing, and that is Ghost. All right, let's go over its moves. And that is going to be Tackle, Zen Headbutt for its quick moves. Charge moves are going to be Stomp, Body Slam, and Gyro Ball. Personally, Body Slam and Stomp are fairly good. Stomp it is, guys. Stomp and Tackle, that's what I suggest. Or possibly Zen Headbutt, because if they try to switch into a fighting type, at least you'll have some sort of counter for that. And like I said, I threw this into the list because, well, it's a Pokemon that doesn't get too much love, but it is kind of worthy almost when it comes down to that PvP. If they don't have fighting types, then they're not going to be able to take it out that quick. And yeah, simple as that. And now let's very briefly cover the Reggies. Yeah, I'm pretty sick of looking at them too. So Reggie Rock, max CP 3,087, attack 197, defense 356, and stamina 160. So massive defense there. And I would say out of all of them, this might be the most useful one. So it's going to be weak to fighting, grass, ground, steel, and water. Resisting fire, flying, normal, and poison. Yeah, Reggie Rock. Do we even really need to take a look at the moves? Rock Throw and Rock Smash for its quick moves. Charge moves are going to be Stone Edge, Focus Blast, and Zap Cannon. Personally, it depends. If you have Zap Cannon, it's going to be covering your weakness, at least a water type. Focus Blast is going to be able to get those steel types, and Stone Edge is going to be covering those dragons possibly, because just about every dragon is a flying type and or ice types. And that's about it for Reggie Rock. I'm not going to stay too long on this guy here, so let's go ahead and move to the next one. Should you power one up? Should you get ready for PvP with one? If you're a fan and you have a specific strategy to revolve around it, I say go for it. If you have a 100. Alrighty, let's move on to the next one. And the difference between a 70% and a 100, I mean, there's a slight difference, but it's not going to be ultra game changing. Let's be realistic. if two people were to go up against each other, one with a 100 Mewtwo and then the other with a 170 Mewtwo, and they both had Psycho Cut and Psychic, who would win? Well, probably the 100, obviously. That's very interesting, because when PvP comes out, that's a good test to actually conduct, now that I think about it. But yeah, the 100 would obviously win, but by barely anything. So next up we have Reggie Ice, max CP 3087, attack 179, defense 357, and stamina 160. Oh boy. So it's going to be week 2, fighting fire, rock, and steel, resisting ice. Not too good. Okay. And it's going to be useful for taking out those ground types, dragons with Frost Breath and Blizzard. And you could use it to play around with certain counters, but otherwise I suggest that you pick another Pokemon. Definitely. It does have high defense. Like I said, I'm just covering it solely because of that. But they are not that great. I still recommend for Steelix to be picked over Registeel. Now, here we go. Registeel, max CP 2261. That's so low. Attack 143, defense 285, and stamina 160. Oh, and by the way, this is completely off topic, but Medicham performs way better than Deoxys. Isn't that crazy? Alright, so Registeel is going to be week 2, fighting fire and ground. Resisting, yes, it is a big resistance list. If you did have one maxed out and they didn't have a super effective and basically were using almost all these types, you know, to a degree, they would be in a bit of trouble. Resisting poison, ice, fairy, flying, grass, dragon, normal, bug, psychic, rock, and steel. That's what steel resists. Very nice. And for the moveset, what would I recommend? I mean, I'm skipping over the recommended moves, but that's like by highest damage and energy output. You're trying to think strategy-wise and things like that. So I would go with maybe, what are you going to be weak against? You have ground, fire, and fighting types. Maybe rock smash, okay? Because even with stab, you're going to be doing okay damage, but it's still not going to be as good as rock smash. And then possibly focus blast. And that is why Registeel is not that great, because Focus Blast is better than its stab move, although that is the case for many Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Finally, we have the ultimate defensive Pokemon just about everybody's going to be using, and it would be hilarious if Niantic implemented an actual on-off switch for Blissey's during a PvP match. Blissey is going to be the highest defensive Pokemon, pure normal type, max CP 3219, attack 129, defense 229, and it just goes up. Stamina 510. So there you go, Blissey. It is going to, of course, be weak to one thing that is going to be fighting, resisting ghost types. And recommended moveset for PvP. What would you want? Zen Headbutt and Dazzling Gleam. Period. You could say, well, what if you're trying to counter fighting types? Dazzling Gleam. Psychic is what else is Psychic going to be strong against that Dazzling Gleam isn't? Of course, there's going to be things that are going to be resisting the Gleam, but at the same time, you might as well go for it. It has a 2 charge bar move for 100 damage. That's amazing. Psychic, you have 1 full bar, then you have 100 damage, and you have to charge it all up again. Dazzling Gleam is like, go, 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 done. And with that said, there's not much more explanation that you need, but I will give you one warning. If you think you're going to be able to hide behind your Blissey when PvP comes out, I think you have to think again. Because like I said earlier, when you go up against a gym, it is 2 times stronger than it normally is. In a PvP, player versus player, obviously it's going to be even, and it's not going to be as hard as before. So, got to think about it. Very excited to see how that's going to play out. And with that said, trainers, thank you for watching, and I will be catching you all next time. Take care.